How did your parents fail you? When I was 14, my dad chose his new wife over investigating my claims that she was stealing my college fund. It was a Tuesday after school, and I was looking for a phone charger in Dad's office. That's when I found bank statements hidden under his keyboard. The college fund my grandparents had set up for me before they died was nearly empty. Almost $90,000, gone in small withdrawals over 6 months. All made by Diane, my new stepmom. When I showed Dad the statements, he just shrugged. Diane handles our finances now. I'm sure there's an explanation, but his voice shook like he already knew. I did some digging. Diane had blown the money on designer clothes, fancy restaurants, and something called personal wellness treatments. She'd even bought a used Porsche that she claimed was an investment. Every time I tried to talk to Dad about it, Diane would appear with tears in her eyes. "Why are you trying to tear this family apart?" she'd ask. Dad would comfort her while I stood there feeling crazy. Then came the gaslighting. My things started disappearing: laptop, phone, jewelry from Mom. When I confronted Diane, she'd find them in my room, suggesting I was forgetful or lying for attention. Dad started sending me to therapy, convinced I was acting out because I couldn't accept their marriage. The therapist believed everything Diane told her about my troubled behavior. One night, I overheard them talking. Diane was crying about how she'd tried so hard with me. Dad promised to send me to boarding school. "Just until she learns to adjust," he said. I knew I had to act fast. I installed a small camera in Dad's office using my babysitting money. 3 days later, I had video of Diane logging into Dad's accounts, transferring money, and deleting records. I also filmed her in my room, planting my missing things before pretending to find them. The final proof, her bragging on the phone to a friend about how easy it was to manipulate my dad. I showed Dad everything. He watched the videos with a blank face. When they finished, he turned to me and said something I'll never forget. She must have had her reasons. That night, I called my mom's sister in Colorado. She bought me a plane ticket and hired a lawyer. We got the security footage from Diane's bank, proving she'd drained my college fund. The judge ordered her to repay everything. Instead, she emptied their accounts and disappeared. Dad had a breakdown, realizing what he'd allowed her to do. He begged me to come home, said he'd make it right, take out loans for my college, be a better father. But some things you can't fix with promises. I lived with my aunt through high school, put myself through college with scholarships and part-time jobs. Dad sent birthday cards with money, trying to rebuild what was stolen. I returned every check. Last month, he had a heart attack. In the hospital, he cried and apologized again, said he'd failed me, asked if we could start over. I looked at him, hooked up to machines, finally understanding what he'd done. "You had video proof that your wife was stealing from your child," I said, "and you chose her anyway." Then I walked out and deleted his number. Dad still sends Christmas cards. Inside each one is a copy of my empty college fund statement, now stamped paid in full. Too little, too late.